Welcome, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic peeps, to my channel, Slime and Slashers, where, yeah, we talk about everything from 80s and 90s nostalgia to horror movies and books. Today's video, it is a movie-themed video. Yes, finally, a non-book themed video. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to be telling you guys about the 31 movies I plan to watch for my Halloween movie marathon. So stay right where you are. I'll be right back, and we'll get into the deets. Welcome back, guys! I have put together an amazing list of movies that I'm so excited to reveal to you all. Maybe you've heard a lot of these before, maybe you have not, so maybe I'll put some films on your radar, or if you're more of a movie buff than me, then perhaps you'll just be excited that I get to experience some movies that you've already seen that I may have not seen before. But I will say quite a few of these movies are rewatches for me. By the way, guys, I am hosting a Halloween-themed watch-a-thon, read-a-thon, and activity-a-thon. You can do some aspects of it, like you could just read, or you could just watch, or you could just do activities. You could do multiple of the aspects, or you can do all of the aspects. And I really encourage you guys, if you haven't heard about it, to check out my announcement video linked down below. I will be having official Discord watch parties on our Halloween-a-thon Discord, where I will be showing some of these movies, and I'll shout those out as we go. Not all of these movies are pure horror. Some of them are more Halloween-y, and others are more horror. So we'll go through it all, but what I need to grab before we get started is my handy-dandy binder. Not my handy-dandy notebook or journal. I have a Halloween binder, and I need this to go through my list because my list is in here. If you look close, there is Pusheen on the front. So if you're new here, welcome, welcome. I so appreciate you guys checking out my channel. Please consider subscribing if you like nostalgia-themed content or horror-themed content, or both, perhaps. But if you're a longtime viewer of mine, then you might be asking, Kelsey, why are you even using a binder anymore? You have a journal. Well, guys, I like to keep my binder going. I've been using this thing for years, and I've kept my movie marathon in this binder for many years. And this year is no different. I am keeping my marathon in here, including where to find all of the movies on my list and how long each movie is. And I even have a more condensed list where I put them in order of running time, which helps me to figure out on each day what movie to watch. All right, all the details are out of the way. Get out of here. We can now go through the actual list. All right, first up is a movie. I probably won't watch this first, but this is one that I know I'm definitely watching, and this is one that I'll be watching with my friend Kat. We are hoping to see this in the theater if it's even released in the theater. If not, hopefully we could just stream it and watch it together at my house, perhaps. So that would be Terrifier 3, and this, sadly, is not thematic for Halloween because it is going to be Christmas themed, but Kat and I have a tradition of talking about the Terrifier movies. It started when we first watched the first one. We had a whole chat about it, and if it was a slasher, you know, if it was torture porn, or if it had any kind of artistic value, etc., etc. We really did a deep dive into that movie, and I had such a fun time. Last Halloween, we saw Terrifier 2 together, and we also had a chat about that, and it was just a blast. It might have been the Halloween before last, but anyway, we definitely watched it together for a Halloween, and we talked about it. So yeah, Terrifier 3 is up next, and it's on my official list, and I will just have to pretend, I don't know, that it doesn't have Christmassy vibes, but it does. By the way, if you're wondering how long that's going to be, apparently it's 128 minutes long, which is pretty long. But, by the way, Art the Clown got a Goosebumps knockoff poster right there featuring Art. What ifs? I just couldn't resist. I thought that was so cool. Next up, from 1999, we've got The Puppet Master. There's a great freaking Elijah Wood thing from Yo Gabba Gabba, which is a kid's show. I don't even know how I stumbled across this because I never watched that. It was, you know, too young for me. I was older when Yo Gabba Gabba came about, but the Aquabats are involved in the making of the show. I love the Aquabats. I'm big into ska. Anyway, there's a episode where Elijah Wood guest stars, and he teaches the puppets how to do a dance, and his dance is called the Puppet Master. He's like, raise your leg, raise your other leg, raise your foot, raise your other foot, walk in a circle, do the puppet master. He doesn't say it like that, but I exaggerate it. Anyway, it's become a thing. However, that has nothing to do with the movie. Why'd I even bring it up? Ignore it. This is available on Amazon Prime, Shudder, Peacock, Tubi, Freevee, and it's 83 minutes long. And it says psychics find themselves plotted against by a former colleague who committed suicide after discovering animated murderous puppets. Next up, I need you guys' help for this one because I've got basically a decision between two films, and one of these are going to be on the official 31 movie list, and the other might be relegated to the if I have time extra movie list that I have. Because spoiler alert to this video, I have 31 movies, but I also have way more as extras. So I have basically like 49 movies to go over today, but I won't take too long, I promise. So the two choices are, and I want you guys to tell me which one you think I should prioritize. There's Haxan from 1922, or Bubba Ho-Tempt from, wait, not Tempt. Bubba Ho-Temp, T-E-P, from 2002. So the Haxan film is basically a fictionalized documentary showing the evolution of witchcraft from its pagan roots to its confusion with hysteria in Eastern Europe. And Bubba Ho-Temp is about residents of a nursing home start dying of dubious causes, and an aged Elvis and a senior who claims to be President John F. Kennedy discover that the perpetrator is an Egyptian mummy with murderous intentions. So clearly, two completely different tones and styles, but how these came upon my list is I had another movie I wanted to watch. It was not available. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I picked these two, and I couldn't decide which one should be the definite movie. I do want to watch both eventually, no matter what, but let me know which you think I should prioritize over the other. We've got Dead Silence from 2007. This is available to rent on Amazon, and the synopsis says, after his wife meets a grisly end, Jamie returns to his hometown to find answers. His investigation leads him to the ghost of a ventriloquist who seems to have ties to his entire family tree. And this one's only 89 minutes long. I definitely can squeeze this one in, and I'm excited to finally get to this. Another first-time watch for me is Evil Dead Trap from 1988. This says it's about a late-night TV presenter who receives a snuff tape in which a woman is brutally killed. She decides to take a crew out to a location indicated in the tape, but only death and despair await them. You could find this one on Shudder, Prime, Freevee, and Plex, and it's about 100 minutes long. Another first-time watch for me, and it's a newer movie, is Deadstream from 2022. This one you can find on Shudder if you have that streaming service, and I do, which I like to utilize it quite a lot in October. The synopsis of the film says, a disgraced internet personality attempts to win back his followers by live streaming one night alone in a haunted house. But when he accidentally pisses off a vengeful spirit, his big comeback event becomes a real-time fight for his life. This one's only 87 minutes, not too bad, and I've heard great things about this, so I cannot wait to check it out finally. Next up, a movie I'm super stoked to get to. This is directed by a favorite director of mine, like a newer favorite director of mine. He's not a new director, but he's more of a new to me director. I only discovered his work a few years ago, but quickly became obsessed with his style. So this is Cemetery Man from 1994, directed by, probably gonna butcher this, because I don't know how to pronounce it, but Michel Sauvier, whatevs. There's a pronunciation in a magazine I have, all about Italian horror. It has the pronunciation, and I read how to do it, and I still can't remember. I'm so bad. Anyway, he has directed other movies that I have loved, like The Sect, especially one of my favorite slasher movies, which is called Stage Fright, but it's also known under the name Aquarius, so I love that film in particular, and I also liked The Sect quite a bit as well, so can't wait to watch Cemetery Man, directed by him as well. You can find this one on Shudder, Tubi, Pluto TV. It's 103 minutes long. Next, we have old school-ish movie. We've got Black Sunday from 1960. This you can find on Shudder. You can rent it on Prime. You could also watch it on Plex. It is 86 minutes long, and the synopsis: decades after being executed for witchcraft, a vengeful princess and her fiendish servant are resurrected and begin a bloody campaign to possess the body of a descendant. Next up, a movie that my friend Cameron wants me to check out, and of course Cameron is a good friend. He runs the channel Library Macabre. He's also an author of some great Halloween-themed books, which would be perfect to read around this time of year, especially. And those books are Autumn Crow and Autumn Crow High, Fresh Hell. Highly recommend both books. Both were 5-star reads for me. He's also a co-host of Halloween-a-thon alongside myself and a few other great people. I will link all the other co-hosts as well as Cameron below, so please check out all their channels if you have not heard of them before. But Cameron gave me a list of movies that he definitely wants me to watch, and Demons was among them. This one's from 1985. You can find it on Pluto TV, Shudder, and Tubi. It is 89 minutes long. A group of random people are invited to a screening of a mysterious movie, only to find themselves trapped in the theater with ravenous demons. Sticking with the demonic demon theme, we've got another recommendation from Cameron, Demonic Toys from 1992. You could find this one on Freevee, Tubi, and you can rent it on Prime. It is 86 minutes long. Some peeps, I think I wrote some of this description. Some peeps become trapped in a haunted toy warehouse. Tagline: for 66 years, evil has been watching, waiting, and wanting for someone to play with its toys. Notice how it's 66 years. Just add another 6. Next up, I am on a Italian movie kick ever since July. My friend Alex over at the channel The Bookubus, she hosted a wonderful event in July called Giallo July. It was not just a reading event, it was a watching event in which we encourage people to watch Giallo movies. Giallo movies, of course, are Italian movies. Most of them. Some of them are not. The Giallo did originate from Italy and from famous Italian directors, and so the most well-known giallos, of course, are Italian. The word giallo itself is Italian. It's the Italian word for yellow. So anyway, the director, Lucio Fulci, is the director of my next film on my list, and he's also a director of wonderful Italian giallos, but also just Italian horror movies that are very amazing and fun, and I've really enjoyed almost every movie I've ever seen directed by Lucio Fulci. So excited to add another movie of his to my list that I've never seen before, and that is The House by the Cemetery from 1981. You can find this on Tubi, Plex, Flix Fling. You can also find it on Shudder. It is 87 minutes long. A New England home is terrorized by a series of murders, and unbeknownst to the guests, a gruesome secret is hiding in the basement. Next up, we come to our first rewatch. I say my first rewatch that I have on this list, a movie that I adore. A movie that is freaking, I think, underrated as hell. No one talks about it. I like it better than the first film, and that is Phantasm II. Yes, I like it better than Phantasm. Phantasm II, it's balls to the walls, bonkers, lots of action, just kind of wild. Love it. Has some humor, but also has some great freaking awesome effects. Lots of really well done horror, too. It's not just all fun and games and haha, whatevs. This is from 1988. You can rent it. You can't really find it streaming for free anywhere that I know of. It is 97 minutes long, and I cannot wait. I'm going to show this as a Discord watch party for people who belong to the Halloween-a-thon Discord. You may be able to watch along, and it's going to be a good time. I can't wait. I think it'll be a great movie to watch with others, and I'm not going to say too much about it because it is the second movie of a franchise, but you do not have to have seen the first one to really enjoy the second one. Just know that. Because I will say, I didn't remember much of Phantasm 1 when I watched Phantasm 2, and I still had a freaking ball. Next up, this is more of a mini TV series, little cartoon versus an actual film. This is Over the Garden Wall from 2014, and I think it's a travesty that I have not yet seen this. I heard that the fall vibes are hardcore and to the max. Like, it is the epitome of fall, and so I cannot wait to check it out. The description says, 2 brothers find themselves lost in a mysterious land and try to find their way home. This is streaming on Hulu, and it's 109 minutes if you total all the little episodes up together. And we come to another rewatch. This is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. I've only seen it once, and I saw it for the first time just a few years ago. but it is so trippy, it is so weird, and I freaking love Sam Neill. Freaking love Sam Neill. Anyway, this is Possession from 1981. It is available on Shudder, and it's 124 minutes long, so it's a little bit longer. This is one of my official host movie recs for Halloween-a-thon. Each host has movie and book recs, and we've got prompts that essentially kind of encourage you to read some of our recs or watch some of our recs. So, if you want to check out a movie that I personally recommend for Halloween-a-thon, or just, even if you're not participating, just want to check out a movie I highly recommend, Possession. However, I will warn you, if you have any kind of triggers about domestic violence, or, you just don't like to watch two people argue a lot, I would say steer clear of this movie because it could trigger you very heavily. There's a lot of arguing between the main characters who are a husband and a wife. So just be aware, it's not your typical possession movie. It's not a movie like The Exorcist. It's a very weird film, it's a very artsy film, but it's also got a lot of drama in it. It's not really just horror heavy. There are horror elements, especially as you get further and further in, but at the core of the film, it is a drama and it has more to say. It's got larger messaging to portray, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Highly recommend though, and if you're even tempted at all, give it a chance, but just be warned, it's not your traditional possession type of movie when you think of something like The Exorcist per se. Because it's not like that at all. It's completely different from something like that. Alright, it says a woman starts exhibiting increasingly disturbing behavior after asking her husband for a divorce. Very simple description of the premise, and that's all you should know going in. Next up, we've got Ganjam. I think I'm pronouncing that right, maybe not. Haunted Asylum from 2018. This you can find on Prime, Peacock, Shudder, and Tubi. It is 95 minutes long. The crew of a horror web series travels to an abandoned asylum for a live broadcast. It soon encounters much more than expected as it moves deeper inside the nightmarish old building. Another film on my list that I have not seen is Waxwork from 1988. This one is 97 minutes long. You can rent it on Prime. You could also find it on Tubi, Plex, Vudu, and Roku channel. A wax museum owner uses his horror exhibits to unleash evil onto the world. Next up, City of the Living Dead from 1980, another new watch for me. You can find this on Tubi, Pluto TV, Vudu. It is 93 minutes long. And this is another movie directed by my boy, Lucio Fulci. A reporter and a psychic race to close the gates of hell after the suicide of a clergyman caused them to open, allowing the dead to rise from their graves. Next up, a new to me movie, The Lords of Salem from 2012. You could find this on Tubi, Plex, Pluto TV, Roku channel, and Prime. It is 101 minutes long. A radio DJ is sent a box containing a record. The sounds within the grooves trigger flashbacks of her town's violent past. Is she going mad, or is something more going on? Next, a newer new-to-me movie, Cobweb from 2023. This one, you could find it on Hulu, or you can rent it on Amazon and other places like YouTube. It is 88 minutes long. An 8-year-old boy tries to investigate the mysterious knocking sounds that are coming from inside the walls of his house, unveiling a dark secret. Next up, another new-to-me film, and this one was recommended to me again by Cameron, and that is Hack-O-Lantern. I said that funny. Hack-O-Lantern from 1988. You can find this on Tubi, and it is only 96 minutes long. I believe it's kind of like a slasher type of movie, and if Cameron recommends it, I'm on board. He knows my movie taste pretty well, so I'm stoked to get to this one. Next up, another newer movie from 2019, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This can be found on Netflix or Pluto TV. It's 108 minutes long. In 1968, the night of Halloween brings mayhem in a small town when a group of friends discovers a notebook written by a mysterious girl that foretells terrifying events. Next, Scary Movie from 1991. No, not Scary Movie, the comedic kind of spoof movie. It's Scary Movie 1991. 88 minutes long. You could find it on Tubi. You could also find it on Plex. On Halloween night, big-time nerd Warren attends a spook house in a small Texas town. But is the haunted house as harmless as it seems? Next up, another rewatch, and it is pretty much probably my favorite fall themed movie of all time, and that is Something Wicked This Way Comes. Unfortunately, this is not streaming anywhere that I know of. I own it on DVD, thankfully, so I'm gonna watch it by using my DVD. However, I do suggest you find a way to watch it if you've never seen it, because if you're looking for fall vibes in a movie, this one has you covered. It is fantastic. The tagline says, "What would you give a man who could make your deepest dreams come true?" And the setting of the movie? A spooky, evil carnival. And by the way, I've got the movie poster right here. So yeah, I love that movie. Highly recommend if you've never seen it. Track it down, find a way. It is just, honestly, in my opinion, marvelous. One of the best movie adaptations of a book ever. I also love the book very much, which I've read just for the first time a few years ago, but I loved it. Next up, sticking with the Italian horror theme, we've got another Italian movie directed by an Italian legend, and that is Dario Argento. And the movie is Inferno from 1980. You could find this on Tubi. You can also find it on Shudder. I actually own it on DVD, so that's how I'll be watching it. It is 107 minutes long. An American student investigates the disappearance of his sister and the death of a friend, both connected from New York to Rome by an old alchemy book. Next up, another new to me movie, and this one's actually a recommendation from my friend Mike. He's on our Monster Squad, which is a group of helpers who are all helping out with my event, Halloween-a-thon. And every Monster Squad peep gets a book rec and gets a movie rec. So my friend Mike's movie rec is The Barn from 2016. You can find this on Tubi. It is 88 minutes long. So although I've never seen the movie, I've actually read the novelization written by Brian G. Berry. It's newly released, just released I think last year or the year before, and I read it during last Halloween, and I loved the novelization. Highly recommend. I'm sure it's on KU if I had to guess, but not absolutely positive. So if you want to check out the novelization, I recommend it. I had a good time with it. And I'm hoping I love the movie just as much. If it's close to the novelization, I'm sure I will. I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to actually get to the film. And the tagline says, "Trick or treat, smell my feet, and die." Yeah. I don't know why it would, smelling feet, whatevs. Anyway, forget it. I'm just really eager to get to this one. Another movie I will definitely be hosting a watch party for. This is a rewatch for me, and it's not just like, something that I've rewatched a few times. This is a movie I've rewatched a lot. Like a lot. And it is Troll 2. You can kind of see it in the corner. If I can get my hand to point to the right place. Here's my Troll 2 poster right now. It's barely in the frame, but it is there. Love that movie. I freaking love that movie. They're eating her. Then they're going to eat me. Oh my god. Anyway, watch party on Discord. If you're interested, join our Discord. We'll be having tons of watch parties, and they will be a blast. And I just cannot wait to share my love of this movie with other people, and it'll just be a good time. Released in 1990, by the way. If you're looking to watch it at home, and you don't want to watch it as part of the watch party, because you don't have to do anything for the watch party except for join a Discord channel. You don't have to rent the movie or play the movie on your own. We do that for you. But if you don't want to join the Discord and do the watch party, then you can find it on Freevee, Tubi, and on Prime. Another movie I will be doing a watch party for, Halloweentown, one of my favorite old school Disney Channel original movies, and I actually have thematic earrings on in honor of flippin' Halloweentown. So, if you could see it. These are from Femme de Bloom, a great earring shop that I get a lot of awesome earrings from, so highly recommend. Love that I actually now have Halloweentown themed earrings. Awesome. Alright, by the way, this was originally released in 1998, and you can find it on Disney Plus because, like I said, it was a Disney Channel original movie. And it is a family-friendly movie. It is not a pure horror movie. Same thing with Something Wicked This Way Comes. Troll 2 is not pure horror either. That one, which I'll have a watch party for, isn't like super scary. It's more cheesy, so bad it's good. Halloweentown's more heartwarming, sweet, cute, family-friendly. And yet another movie I will be having a watch party for. We've got Children of the Corn, the original from 1984. Cheesy, yes. But do I love it? Also a yes. Malachi, they want you too, Malachi. Anyway, it's all very ridiculous. Freaking love Malachi and Isaac. Great stuff. I actually saw the two actors who played the two main kid antagonist in Children of the Corn at a horror convention back in 2014, I believe. It was awesome to hear them talk about the experience of making Children of the Corn. I have a great poster of this movie, but it's at my parents' house in my old room. But I'm so excited to rewatch this, and I'm definitely going to be doing a watch party for it, like I said. You can find this on Prime, Shudder, Tubi if you want to watch it on your own, and it is 92 minutes long. We'll not go through the synopsis because it's kind of well known. And another watch party I will be having is for the movie The Halloween Tree. It's another rewatch for me. This is an animated movie based off of Ray Bradbury's book of the same name. I love the book. It's fantastic, but the movie is a great adaptation. It's got beautiful animation, wonderful narration, great voice actors, including Ray Bradbury actually narrates some of the movie, and that's pretty cool. Leonard Nimoy even voices a character in the movie too. So, like I said, great voices. It's only 69 minutes long, by the way, and if you were to watch this one on your own, you would have to rent it yourself. So if you watch it for our Discord watch party, you'll end up watching it for free, so there's something to consider there. My boyfriend Paul brought me a pumpkin beer, so cheers as we go through more movies, and I almost dropped my binder. And Jackson, my dog, is right below the camera, so if it shakes, it is Jackson. Alright, next up we've got a classic movie, and pretty much my favorite horror movie. It's tied with Hellraiser, but this is one of two of my favorite horror movies of all time, and that is Halloween, the original, from 1978. You can find this on Shudder. I own it on Blu-ray, of course. It is 91 minutes long. It is a classic. I won't go into the synopses, and I will try to have a watch party for this film close to Halloween. Alright, and movie number 31, the official last movie on my list. I have a lot of bonuses, but this is the last official one that I am putting on the 31 to watch in 31 days of October. And that is The Monster Club from 1981. You can find this on Tubi, and you can find it on the Roku channel. It is 98 minutes long. I've never seen this one. A writer of horror stories is invited to a monster club by a mysterious old gentleman. There, 3 gruesome stories are told to him. Between each story, some musicians play the songs. Alright, as I said, I do have 31 main films, those are my priorities, but I actually start my movie marathon on the first day of fall, which is also the first day of my event, Halloween-a-thon. So I do give myself a little bit of extra time to watch 31 movies, but with all that time, who knows, maybe I'll have extra time to get to some extra movies. So here are some more movies that I would love to get to, if possible, between September 22nd and October 31st. Alright, we've got Murder Party from 2007. This is on Tubi, 80 minutes long. A random invitation to a Halloween party leads a man into the hands of a rogue collective intent on murdering him for the sake of their art, sparking a bloodbath of mishap, mayhem, and hilarity. So it's a horror comedy, essentially. Next up, a rewatch. I would love to rewatch The Hills Have Eyes. Kind of a summer-ish movie, but I love it. It reminds me of Halloween. It is one of the few movies, I should say, that truly freaked me out back in the day when I first watched it. It is 107 minutes long. I own it on DVD. I also want to watch the original, which I've never seen, and that's from 1977. Same name, The Hills Have Eyes. You can find that on Hoopla, Canopy, or you can rent it at a whole bunch of different places. It is 90 minutes long, and it's basically got the same concept as the remake. A nice American family, they didn't want to kill, but they didn't want to die. Next up, I think I heard about this movie from Mike, The Devonsville Terror, hope I'm saying that right, from 1983. This is on Shudder. It's 82 minutes long. I've never seen it. Tagline says, 300 years ago, they burned her as a witch. Now she's back. Next up, I would love to rewatch The Exorcist from 1973. If I have time, we will see. Another movie that I would love to get to, especially because it was on my list last year and I didn't get to it either, and that is Street Trash from 1987. It is on Tubi. It is 100 minutes long. A liquor store owner sells alcoholic beverages to homeless people, unaware of what the bottles actually contain. Toxic brew. Next up, I would love to rewatch Under Wraps. Unfortunately, this is not really available anywhere. I don't even own it on DVD or anything, so I would probably just rewatch it on YouTube. If I do watch it, we'll see. Next up, The Resurrection of Michael Myers, Part 2 from 1989. This is a little short. I think you can get it streaming somewhere. I think I actually have a copy somehow. Anyway, this is like a very obscure little tiny short movie that I heard about who even knows where, probably on a letterbox somewhere, somebody reviewing movies or a big list of Halloween themed movies, I don't know. But it's on my list as a potential, very short, we will see. Next up, a potential rewatch, Constantine from 2005. This is one of my friends, Rex, for Halloween-a-thon. She is a co-host of Halloween-a-thon, and that is Kitty from Spicy Cats Reads. And she also has some prompts that are based off of the movie Constantine. This is 121 minutes long. You could really only find it available to rent online if you're looking on different services, and it's from 2005. Tagline, Hell wants him, heaven won't take him, earth needs him. I really loved this movie. In fact, I saw it in the theater back in the day. Next up, another co-host recommendation, and that is When Good Ghouls Go Bad from 2001. This is my co-host Cameron's official movie rec. Well, one of his 2 official movie recs. And it's hard to find. You could only get it on DVD, I think. It's 93 minutes long, and it says, when 12-year-old Danny moves to his father's hometown, he finds that the town doesn't celebrate Halloween, and things aren't quite what they appear to be. Next up, another recommendation from one of my co-hosts, and that is Casper from 1995. I have seen Casper, but it's been a very long time. It's 100 minutes, and you can find it for rent different places online. And this was the recommendation of my co-host Lauren from Happy Haunts Library. By the way, don't forget to check out the recommendations of my co-host Katrina as well. I think I've seen her recs. I can't remember, but definitely check out Katrina's recommendations, and you could find her at Katrina Brown. That would be my last co-host that I did not already mention. Next up, Trick or Treat from 1986. I believe this is a recommendation from my friend Amy, who's on our Monster Squad. A bullied teenage boy is devastated after the death of his heavy metal idol, Sammy Kerr. But as Halloween night approaches, he discovers that he may be the only one who can stop Sammy from making a satanic comeback from beyond the grave. And this is 97 minutes long. You can find it on Screambox. We have another Monster Squad recommendation, and it is The Wailing from 2016. This is recommended by my good friend Crystal over at the channel Fiber Artsy, and like I said, she's part of our Monster Squad of awesome helpers who are helping with Halloween-a-thon. This movie's from 2016. You can find it on Peacock, Hoopla, Roku channel, and Tubi. It is 156 minutes long. It's been on numerous lists over the years for me, but I always wind up not watching it because it's so freaking long. However, there's nothing but good things out there about this movie in terms of what people think of it. Next up, I've got 2 Hellraiser movies on my list. Hellraiser 2, I'd like to rewatch that. I have seen it before. It's from 1988. You could find it on Pluto TV, Shudder, and Tubi, 97 minutes long. Then I would also like to watch Hellraiser 3, which I've never seen fully, and it's also from 1992. It's available to rent, and it's 93 minutes long. Another movie I would like to rewatch is Donnie Darko from 2001. You could find this on Shudder, Prime, Hulu, Tubi. It's 114 minutes, and it is classic. Technically, is it more of a drama? Yes, and also just a weird movie? Yeah, but it's worth watching around Halloween because there is a Halloween party scene. Donnie Darko, the character's in like a skeleton costume. It's awesome, and I love that movie. It is just, I could talk about it for hours. I could freaking break it down for hours. I could try to analyze it with friends. Enjoy it so much. Next up, another recommendation from a Monster Squad friend, and that is Renfield from 2023. I've not seen this. I love Nicolas Cage. Might be a good time to try to squeeze it in. And my friend Amy is the Monster Squad person who recommended it. You can find Amy at Amy Noel Reads. She also has an Instagram, which I will link below. And you can find Renfield on Peacock. It is 93 minutes long. And last but not least, I will try to squeeze in either Haxan or Bubba Ho-Temp, depending on which one I decide is the priority. The other one will be on the we'll try to get to list if I don't have time. And my very final spot, which would make a 50 movie list, is a free spot. So if you've got any recommendations of movies that aren't on my list, that you think I should put on my list, let me know in the comments below, guys. But those are all the films I had to go over today. Have you seen any of these? What do you think? What are your all-time favorite watches for Halloween time? Do you have a traditional must-watch movie or a few must-watch movies or traditional movies? Let me know anything you want down in the comments below. And if you just want to leave an emoji to say that you are here, how about dropping a little camera or film emoji in honor of talking about Halloween and horror-themed movies? Because I love to get to talk about movies, but I never get to do it as much as I want. So let's do a thematic emoji in honor of that. But for this time, guys, that is it for me. Till next time, you know what you can do. Keep on killing it. Bye, guys.